one way to reveal your true self. See everything as one. That's the practice. This one singular way, if practiced long enough and consistent enough, will allow you to realize your true self, because you're literally turning everything into one. That's what you're doing in this practice. You're turning everything into one. So it has to start somewhere. Where does it start? Start seeing things as if they were one. Start looking at things as if they were one. Stop creating so much distinctions between different things. You're not seeing yourself as awareness. You're only seeing yourself as this body right now because of the fact that you're creating all these distinctions in your experience. You're constantly saying that, okay, well, this object is different than this object, and this hot object has a specific meaning to it. It's defined as such, and it allows me to experience this world in such a way where I'm understanding this object and I'm experiencing this object. You're doing that with literally every single thing that you see. Furthermore, because you're seeing separation, you're constantly experiencing separation. You're constantly perceiving separation. And because you constantly experience and perceive separation, you just find yourself stuck inside this world. Stop defining things as if they are different. Stop perceiving things as if they were different. Stop giving meaning to things as if they were different. Start seeing them equally. Start seeing them equally in your experience. So if you're in the initial stages of practicing this, seeing everything as one, then obviously when you hang out with people, you have to hang out with them and realize that everything is just one. So there's no need to talk shit behind someone's back. There's no need to judge someone. There's no need to treat someone differently than someone else. This doesn't mean that you're gonna treat your your friends the same way as you treat your parents. You're still inclined to do whatever it is that you're doing, but you're inwardly just treating everything as if they were one. You have to start breaking this distance between you and someone else. You start to become more compassionate. You start to become more empathetic. You start to become more selfless in your actions because you're treating everything as one. You're no longer creating this distance between you and someone else. When you create this distance between you and someone else, you're just affirming the ego. Once you affirm the ego, you see distinctions and you keep those distinctions alive. And you're so immersed in those distinctions that you start to experience this life full of distinctions. And because you experience this life full of distinctions, it only makes the distinctions even more enhanced, and you continue to believe that there are distinctions. Well, how are you going to realize your true self if you're still having that experience as being this body amongst all these distinct things? You have to kill that conditioning. Start seeing everything as one. Literally, start seeing everything as one. Because for you to realize your true self, the experience literally has to be one. You're literally seeing everything as one. Literally, it's just formless awareness. Everything is empty. Everything is an imagination. Everything is an appearance, all taking place in awareness. And there's only that awareness. If that's the case, then at least start to see everything as one. At least start to do that. Because that is what needs to be done at first for everything to literally become one. See everything as one. Anytime you go to work, treat everything equally. Literally see everything equally. Don't think that this person is an asshole and this person is cool. Don't think that you rather have a meeting with this person and not that person. Stop creating these stories in your head that just further enhances distinction. Start seeing everything objectively because everything is in truth one. When you start to see everything as one, you're no longer valuing something as if it has more value than something else, right? You're no longer assigning specific values to specific things. You start seeing everything as neutral. You start seeing neutrality because everything has the same underlying value because it's all ultimately just one awareness. So stop assigning values towards different things. Like, see them all equally, see them all as one. Just by doing this, you'll naturally start to be less immersed in the story and start seeing it as a story, seeing it as a story unfolding within your singular awareness. Start seeing everything as one. That literally means don't find this person more attractive than that person, because you're just creating stories in your head and you're being immersed in those stories. Stop seeing that there's one person who looks better than the other, or that one dog looks cuter than the other. Like, stop doing that. Just look at things equally. When you start to do this, obviously your life is going to be more peaceful, more at ease, with more stillness, because you're starting to turn everything into one. And so obviously there will be more peace in your life. So how much peace do you want to get? Keep practicing, keep seeing everything as one, literally all the time in your experience, every single second of the day, every minute of the day, every day, just constantly see everything as one. See, everything that you do in life is just you experiencing a story that is just constantly enhancing distinctions. You do this with everything. You say that this food is better than this food. This food is healthier than this food. This food tastes better than this food. That's just one object. Do that with every single thing else in this dream, in this world. You're doing it with everything. And because you do it with everything, you say, oh, I got to have this experience instead of that experience. I got to buy this instead of that. I got to do this instead of that. It's just you creating the story in your head, and you're so immersed in the story that now you believe that you're this body, that that's your true identity, and that this identity is separate from all these different things in this world. You have to kill that conditioning. Constantly see that everything is one. Everything is one. Think about all the qualities that you'll start to embody because of that. Obviously, you're going to be more compassionate. Obviously, you're going to be more selfless. Obviously, you're not going to be so intimate with things that are happening in the story. And so you don't go down this depression hole. You don't go down this path of pain. You don't go on this journey of suffering. You're just taking a step back from all of that and seeing that everything is actually one. So why should you say that this is better than that, or that this is more favorable than this, or this is more favorable than that? Like, why create all these distinctions when you're ultimately seeing that everything is one? So you don't believe that everything is fundamentally bad, and you don't believe that everything is fundamentally good. You see the neutrality in everything. You see that it's just one singular awareness unfolding a dream inside it. Start to see everything as one, and you'll start to see that this is just a dream that's unfolding in awareness. You start to break away from the story of being this person in the dream, because you're only this person in a dream because you keep driving distinctions in your experience. You just constantly see everything as different from each other. And because you do that, you experience separation. And the experience feels so real that you no longer want to question there being this one singular awareness. You think it's complete bullshit. You've forgotten so much that all the truth as it stands right now is that there is just one singular awareness. If that's the case, you must turn everything into one. So start seeing everything as one. If you start doing that, obviously you're going to not assign specific values to specific things, and you're going to start seeing everything equally. And if you start seeing everything equally, then you're more calm, you're more composed, you're more content, you're less agitated in the mind. There's not much distractions. So you start to literally see everything objectively. Objectively. You see it objectively because you're no longer immersed or tied down to what it is that you're experiencing, because you're literally turning everything into one. Start seeing everything as one. See everything objectively. Don't give specific meaning to specific things. Like when you look at a tree, don't keep creating the story that this is a tree. Just literally see it as a form, literally see it as an appearance, literally see the experience instead of seeing the content in the experience. Just see everything as one singular experience. Treat everything as one, see everything as one. Constantly do that in your practice every single second of the day. Just see everything as one. You're seeing it as one. You're hearing it as one. You're knowing it as one. All of this is what you need to embody in your experience. Constantly see that everything is one. When you start to see everything as one, you'll literally see that you're just observing a story. You're observing a story. You're observing a story because when everything starts to dissolve and you start to see the perception of separation withdraw back into awareness, meaning it starts to expand and you start to see it as just one form, one formless form, which is awareness. You start to see everything as an imagination. You start to see that everything was just an imagining out of this infinite power of awareness. And when you start to see that, you'll begin to see everything as a dream. You'll begin to see everything as a story. Because you were so immersed in this story, you now believe yourself to be this individual form in this world, and that world and that form is what is referred to as life. Well, I'm saying that that's not really life, that's just a story, because there is just awareness. You are eternal, formless awareness. If you start seeing everything as one, you'll start to experience what I'm saying. You'll start to experience that everything is just one singular, formless, eternal awareness. And that formless, singular, eternal awareness is you. That's the real you. It's not this body. It wasn't all of these different things that you were giving distinctions to. It was just formless, eternal awareness. And if that's the case, then start seeing everything as one. This is the practice. All right.